We all wear masks, metaphorically speaking. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to my bathroom. It's been a minute since you were in here with me. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a bathroom that is not minimalist, much like me. To a bathroom that does not in any way, shape, or form match the aesthetics of the influencers. You know why? Because this is real girl shit. Anyhoozle, it's late. I didn't really feel like filming a makeup video today, so I thought instead, to end this first week of Taurus season, we could have a little moment just to indulge in some self-care and chill together. So I'm inviting you to mask with me. I finished a workout just a little bit ago. As I already mentioned, I think it's quite late. It's like almost 11 o'clock at night. I'm a little buzzed on endorphins and extra tired because I haven't been sleeping well, which is a great combination. So I think it's time to just wind down. And I've got a couple beautiful products here today that I have been using and loving that help me relax. And I'm going to start with a fragrance. It is the Leahlani Bless Aromatherapy Essence. And if you are at all familiar with the brand Leahlani, it's beautiful. And I believe I've already mentioned the Bless Balm on my channel at some point. I can't remember when. But this is the Bless Aromatherapy Essence. So if you've used the Bless Balm, it smells exactly like that. And it's so delightful. It's like orange blossoms and tansy and something else. I don't really know. But I have been using this less as a perfume and more as an actual aromatherapy essence because I really find that the scent calms me down so much. And I realized that when I was using the balm, and I'm still using it, it's in my overnight bag. And when I put that balm on my face at the end of the night, I just, the scent is so calming and the balm is so soothing. And then I saw that they had the actual fragrance and I was like, well, hook me up, hook a girl up, hook a girl up. So I hooked myself up and it is delightful. So now that I have aromatherapized myself, shall we just take a couple really deep breaths together? How do you feel about that? Shall we? We're gonna go in for 4. We're gonna hold for 8, and we're gonna breathe out for 4. And then I'm gonna wash my face. Okay, ready? Do you feel better? I feel better. I've really been trying to do breath work lately, and even just that simple in and out breathing calms me down so much. I also practice square breathing, and I don't know if that's a real thing, but that's what I call it. It's where you breathe in and out and like kind of as you're breathing, draw the shape of a square with your mind. So it's like you breathe in for 4, out for 4, in for 4, out for 4, and then you just kind of keep breathing squares, and it really works. Anyways, I'm gonna wash my face, and then I'm going to apply the mask, and if you feel like it, please participate in this evening or just relaxing ritual with me, because why not? I'm going to be using the Leahlani Mermaid Mask, Superfood for your skin. And honestly, I am not really a mask person. I don't really enjoy masking. I don't know why. I think I just find it annoying, especially clay masks, because I don't like the drying on my skin. But my skin has really been having a time lately, and my nose, I don't know if you can really tell in this light, but my nose is very, very dry and peeling, and my skin just feels like it needs some TLC. And I was doing some yard work on Monday. I took Monday off as like an extra holiday long weekend, and I did some yard work. And honestly, in the springtime, honestly, any season, as soon as I am outside in any kind of weather, my nose just runs. I'm allergic to everything. Like literally I'm the new bubble boy, you know? And so I was out there for like 3 hours on Monday working in the yard, and it got to the point where I just had to wipe my nose on my sleeve because I just couldn't keep coming inside to get Kleenex. It was ridiculous. And so because of that and just general, you know, nose running and allergies, my poor little nose, my poor Italian ball has been abused. And I did some very light exfoliating last night, but I think tonight the goal is to just mask and nourish. So we're going to do that together. I'm going to wash my face though, like I said first, obviously, because I am wearing makeup and I've done a workout. So, you know, I want to get all of that off, but I'm going to zoom through that and then we shall apply. Okay, my face is clean, and as a result, I look terrifying, which is one of the reasons why I try not to wash my face usually right before I film, because my eyes just get like so red and the rest of my face gets like strangely pale. Oof. Your girl is tired. Your girl has not been sleeping well. That's another reason why we're just doing a little self-care, self-love. So I'm going to open up this mask, and it smells so good. It definitely has honey in it. But look at this gorgeous, it's such a dark green that it almost looks black. And it's like super like sticky. I don't know if the camera is really picking that up. I'm going to take a big chunk. Because no one can tell me what to do. And the key to this mask is that you actually have to emulsify it with a little bit of water before you apply. And then, yes, I'm going to just rub that all over, and it feels so delightful. It really does feel like just putting honey on your face. I love it. Yes. And yes, I am one of those people that applies her masks with her fingers. Who has time for a bougie brush? I know that no one likes to get their fingers dirty, but like, I'm a tactile person. And I have a sink full of water here. Besides, having that physical contact with your body is hugely important. We are so disconnected from ourselves. Why would I use another tool rather than having that tactile skin-to-skin connection with myself? Know what I mean? What I mean, Jelly Bean? And the mask rinses so clear, so if you don't like getting your fingers dirty, see? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Smoking. All right. I'm going to leave this on for 10 minutes, and we are going to relocate for that time so that we can hang out like this together and chat. Shh. Hi, hello. It took me about 5 minutes to get settled because this little sitting room of mine is not an optimal space for filming. It's quite dark. I keep it quite dark. I don't like overhead lighting. I believe we've had this conversation before, but maybe not. But in case we haven't, I like lamps. I like lamp lighting. I like the ambiance of a lamp. That's totally besides the point, but that's kind of why I wasted the first 5 minutes of my masking session on setup. But maybe that's okay, because maybe that means we'll actually have a short video this week. Oh, can you believe it? Anywho, I wanted to talk about some random inside thoughts that I've been having and turn them into outside thoughts and share them here in this beautiful safe space we have created on the internet. In this little corner of the internet, I should say. And speaking of which, you guys, there's 50 of you here now. Wow. That might seem like a pretty small number to most people, but honestly, to me, it feels like such an enormous milestone, and I'm just, once again, outrageously, incredibly, overwhelmingly grateful to have even amassed 50 subscribers on this little channel that I started on a whim. So yeah, thank you. And I hope we continue growing and continue having a cute, fun, sometimes scary masked time here. So, some of my inside thoughts. I wrote them down for you. The first occurred to me, well, it occurs to me every time I have a shower. You know, you're getting all of your clothes off, and I don't know what order anybody takes their clothes off, but you know, at some point or another, your socks come off. And especially when it's shower time, and especially in COVID times, we might be showering a little bit less, so we've been wearing our socks for a little bit more, potentially. And then you take your socks off and you get into the shower, and all of a sudden you see your little toe jams rinsing away. Just me? Does anyone else experience that and then go, oh no, what happens if I'm about to engage in intimate things and I take my socks off and there's fuzzy bits in between my toes? I don't have time to get rid of them. The abject horror of this thought. It's so intrusive. I really wish that my brain just wouldn't. But you know what I mean? You know, your body's just in a certain position and you have absolutely no control over what may or may not be in between your toes. Even if you showered that day, you're still wearing socks that are sure to deposit things in places. It's just, feet. Anyways, my eyes are watering just thinking about that. And I felt like I needed to share that with you, so you're so welcome. You're welcome. My next inside thought, and this is frustrating to me on a personal level. I feel personally attacked by this. Why are we so focused on the like Pinterest aesthetics of things like bookshelves? You know, if you're staging a home, I completely understand it, but like, I find it really stressful and overwhelming that we are so attached to this idea of like perfectionism when it comes to our homes. And why are we trying to adhere perfectionism to the things that we love? Like personally, I love books. I want one day to have a full ass library in my house. Like every single wall of the room is covered in like floor to ceiling bookshelves, but I don't want a Pinterest style or like sterile looking all white library. I want my bookshelves to be overflowing. I want them to be full and abundant and not coordinated by color. My bookshelves at one point or another end up alphabetized, but that's like normal to me. Then you have all of those people that like, how do you, I don't know, this is going to come across as so judgmental, as is my next inside thought, but I just find it curious that we waste so much time on perfectionism when it comes to the things we love, rather than just loving them. And like, we need to stop aestheticizing, is that the word? Everything. Not everything needs to be like Instagram or Pinterest ready. Our lives deserve to just be, we deserve to just live our lives. Our lives deserve to just be lived. The things we love just deserve to be loved without some kind of aesthetic mandate. Are my bookshelves perfect? No, they're a little bit chaotic, especially because I don't have room for all of my new books anymore. And once you don't have room, they're no longer alphabetized, and that becomes a little bit stressful. But it's like, I want my library to be lived in, because I have lived in my library, you know? I have spent the entirety of my life immersed in the books on my shelves. I have made friends with the characters in the books on my shelves, and I would like my bookshelves and my library to reflect that relationship, rather than just having a pristine and beautiful and aesthetically pleasing bookshelf that looks like the spines haven't even been cracked. And like, albeit I don't always love when the spine cracks on a book, because it's a little heartbreaking, and I do like my books to look, you know, reasonably perfect. But there's also a point where you just abandon that perfectionism and you just love the object and you love the story. And that was just one of my grievances this week, so I thought that I would air it and share it with you. The next one is also a grievance that I'm going to air and share, and again, it's going to come across as like incredibly judgmental, and I'm really trying to rein that in a little bit. And I've been trying to figure out a way to approach this commentary, and I'm going to insert a disclaimer here right at the top to state the fact that I am 100,000% an advocate for people, especially women, having full bodily autonomy, doing whatever with and to their bodies that they want. I am unequivocally an advocate for that. But what bothers me sometimes in the current landscape, specifically of beauty, is that I kind of wish that people's real lips would come back. And again, people need to do whatever makes them feel happy, whatever makes them feel beautiful. But the current trend comes with significant concerns that I have for our youngest generations, feeling pressured to engage in that current aesthetic of beauty, that current expectation of beauty. And what does that mean for them? What does that mean for how they feel about themselves, especially for those people who might not have access to something like injectables, which carry a huge financial cost? And does that make them less than because they don't do that? And are we encouraging younger and younger people to engage in expensive cosmetic augmentations? And why? It's a beauty trend. Trends come and go. And again, I'm going to reiterate that anyone is allowed to do whatever they want with their bodies, especially women who still don't have full bodily autonomy in so many countries and so many places all over this world. So I'm not trying to discredit or take that away. I just have genuine concerns for the expectations and the pressures of such an intense beauty trend, because it's not just overlining your lips. It's going through a procedure. It's spending tons of money a year. It's putting things inside of your body. Don't get me wrong. I think about, you know, getting a little Botox in my crinkly forehead sometimes, but I just see younger and younger people getting more and more in deep with like lip injections and Botox, and it's like, you're in your 20s. You're beautiful just the way that you are. Put on some lip gloss and just go live your life. Get out of the chair, you know? I'm not sure if I'm expressing that properly, and I'm probably gonna get shit for expressing that in the first place. But it's just a concern. We already have young women and young men and young people in general, regardless of gender, already are up against so many pressures in this world and up against so many standards for beauty, and especially with social media, all of that gets compacted and compounded, and it gets so loud sometimes, and it's so easy to fall victim to that, to fall prey to those kinds of pressures and those kinds of expectations in the social media landscape. And now we have TikTok, and it's, you know, it's just, you consume and you consume and you consume all of that content. And I am now participating actively in the beauty space by just being on YouTube. So I do feel that there is somewhat of a responsibility here to be like, there are just people out there that don't engage in that, that respect people doing what they want to do with their bodies, but who are personally not going to go down that road. And, you know, beauty is not just one thing. Beauty is not just one type of person. Beauty is not just one skin color. Beauty and self-expression and self-love and being accepted and being unique is like, there, you know, there's not just there's not just one thing that makes people people. I say as I'm covered in anxious rashes from scratching because I need to stop talking about this topic. Did any of what I said just make sense? I don't know. Okay, last thing before we go wash this off my face. And it was a funny conversation that I had in a work meeting yesterday, and I went, holy shit. And this is completely unrelated to anything else I've said today, but I thought that I would share it with you because it was an inside thought and I want it to be an outside thought. And this is really geared towards millennials, elder millennials, Gen X probably. So hi, welcome. I see you, I love you. I relate. Remember when we were kids and we were all so terrified of acid rain? Like, do you remember that? Do you remember the like genuine warnings we would get as children about, oh my God, acid rain? And like the fear that was so deeply ingrained in our little kid brains that it was going to rain one day and we were going to get caught out in the rain and our skin would burn because of the acid rain, because that's how a child's brain works. Wild. This topic came up in a work conversation because it's like, in June, it will be 30 years since the Rio Earth Summit, which is like the first Earth Summit that happened. And like, with very few exceptions, acid rain being one of them, we are still having basically the exact same conversations about the climate and about needing to protect this precious finite planet called Earth that we live on and use as our home and as our resource for all life. It's wild to think about that like not much has changed in the last 30 years in the span of my lifetime. in the span of so many of our lifetimes. But the one thing that has is that we're no longer being threatened by acid rain. Wild. Okay, time to go wash this off. Are you gonna wash yours off too? All right, we are back in the bathroom. Now the instructions for this mask say to rinse it off with cool water. Apologies, Leahlani, but I'm not gonna do that. No ma'am. I'm in the basement. I'm in a satiny robe. I have goosebumps because I'm not in enough clothing. I'm not gonna use cold water on my face. However, I will use tepid water because the water in my sink has been sitting here now for 15 minutes. So it is no longer hot. That will have to be good enough. In comparison to the typically scalding water that I like to use, this is cool. This is cool enough. Ready for my cloth to be completely green? Terrifying. Kind of look like a green Puss in Boots. You know, I really don't know how people do this and look cute. It's like, how do these people spray themselves with face mist and make it look cute? Real girl shit, baby. Because we're just gonna sit here and look like a monster through the whole process. This is not a moment where the inner goddess comes out. This is the moment when the sea witch or the bog hag surfaces. And, you know, I contain multitudes, as do we all. I do really love how that mask makes my skin feel afterward. Very soft. Feels very hydrated. Feels very calm. I like it. And I'm gonna use one more Leahlani product because apparently I have a whole threesome here. This is the Leahlani Siren Brightening Serum. And I have been using this on and off at night. It has a very intense citrus smell. It just fully smells like orange rinds. Which, after all of the maxing and relaxing we just did, seems a bit counterintuitive to put something with such a bright scent to it on your face. Like lavender or rose would be more suitable at this time of night. 100%. But I try to do most of my like more intense skincare at night. I don't like putting on too much stuff during the day, especially with now that I'm going in with like heavier sunscreens for the spring and summertime. It's just like too heavy during the day, and I like to have heavier stuff at night. And for my night cream, I am using the 3 Ships Dream Bioretinol and Shoria Butter Night Cream. And I love that it has this like little squishy dispenser. Ooh. That's a lot of cream. It's delightful. I have really been loving this so far. I am using the 3 Ships Buttercream Lip Mask for, that's my bedside table lip treatment right now that I'm finished the Burt's Bees one. And it's the first time I've ever tried anything from 3 Ships, and I'm a happy camper so far. And I have been kind of having a hard time finding a night cream that satisfies and satiates all of my nighttime skin needs. I opened this 3 Ship ones after I finished What was it that I just used? Oh my god, my brain. Oh, it's right at the tip of my brain. I'm gonna insert a picture of it here because I can't remember. My brain just refuses. It's like right here, but it won't come out of my mouth. But I just talked about it in my empties video. So I opened this 3 ships one after I used the one that I talked about in my empties. The Ursa Major. Oh my god. It was the Ursa Major calendula night cream. That's not actually what it's called, but that's Ursa Major. Oh my god. Ugh. Nighttime brain. And I did like that, but I really like this one more. I just find that it's much more nourishing for my skin personally. And I don't have to go in with a second layer. I was finding some nights with the Ursa Major cream that I was having to put on a layer, wait for it all to soak in, and then put another layer on. And when my nose gets really like raw and rashy and like peely, there's almost nothing that will help heal that aside from like just slathering my whole nose in like castor oil, and then you have to sleep with like a flannel hood on so that you don't stain anything. But I'm not finding any issue at all with the 3 ships. It's quite nice. And then I'm just going in with the Acure Radically Rejuvenating Eye Cream, which has been my nighttime eye cream for a while. Honestly, 30 milliliters of an eye cream when you just need like a teeny tiny pea-sized amount, not even, it goes such a long way. It lasts forever. And again, do eye creams really do anything? Do we know if they do anything? I can't answer that for you, but I have them, I use them. I like feeling fancy. I don't know. All right. I'm ready for bed. Sort of, almost. But I'm really glad that I did this. I feel better. I got my inside thoughts out. I shared them with you. Thank you for letting me share. I masked. My skin feels infinitely better. My brain feels infinitely better. There is 1 day left of my work week. Obviously, by the time you see this, it will be fully the weekend. Hurrah, huzzah for all of us, because sometimes life is really hard and the work week just gets us down. And it just means that we've really earned that time off, and I can't wait to indulge in all kinds of delicious, pleasing things this weekend. Even if that just means sitting on the couch and hugging a dog, you know? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in for the first time. I would love to have you as part of the Lan fam, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys in my next one.